Alright guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be quickly talking about some huge news that's dropped for Classic WoW. There's been an abundance of different blue posts gone out, all pretty much at the same time, and there's a lot of interesting things coming to Classic WoW very soon. Guys, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to help out and help me get to 100,000 subs. And as always, my second channel is in the description as well if you want to check that out too. Some interesting videos going out there very soon. So, the first absolute godsend change coming very soon is the Joyous Journeys Summer Exp Buff Event. Long story short, it is a temporary XP boost. And the motivation behind this is to help people catch up to get to level 70 before Wrath of the Lich King launches, rather than just having to pay for a boost. I think this is an absolutely solid move by Blizzard, especially for those people who are rolling on Fresh Realms, because this buff will be active on the Fresh Realms, give them a chance to level up as fast as possible so that they can actually experience some of the end game pre-patch content, and obviously get some decent gear for leveling. And leveling with this XP buff is just going to be so much better, especially for people like me who are making Death Knights in the pre-patch. I mean, we'll easily be able to get to level 58 to level 70 in probably one session, if you really pump hard. They haven't given us a date of when this XP buff is going to happen, because that would reveal when the pre-patch is going to be happening and probably when the beta is going to be happening, but it will last 6 to 8 weeks, apparently a few weeks before the 3.4 pre-patch. And I don't know about you guys, but this really makes me feel like that Wrath of the Lich King beta is very, very warm. I did say it will be very likely to happen this month. The last reset day is, well, next Tuesday. Could potentially happen. The only thing that we do know is that it's very soon, and the first wave of invites are going to be very, very limited. It won't just be all creators and all streamers by default getting the beta. That's the only thing that we know. Now, the next big bit of news is that dungeon boosting is totally out the window. What Blizzard have confirmed is that they're going to change creature behaviour, firstly, which probably will mean that all the mobs in the dungeon will either have some kind of recurring snare effect to make it very difficult for you to do big pulls in these dungeons, or they will have some kind of diminishing return to slow effect that you can't slow them consistently over and over again. Basically similar to what we've got in Season of Mastery. Not only are they making it difficult for dungeon boosting to actually happen in the first place, they are actually nerfing the amount of XP granted to low level players when there's a high level member in the group. So yeah, dungeon boosting is basically over because you will not get quantitative decent XP anymore. Now, I've got mixed feelings about this. I don't really like dungeon boosting that much. What this will do is definitely encourage people to go out into the open world. It will keep the open world alive, especially with no dungeon finder. You're definitely going to see people running around Azeroth and completing quests and grouping up with people to complete certain group quests. I think that's definitely a good step, that's a good thing. What I don't like is how they're making it more difficult for you to actually do the boost. I mean, what is the harm in people being able to do solo dungeon farms for gold? If there's no reliable instanced method of farming gold for anyone, it's going to push people to farm gold in the open world. And the more people in the open world, it means, well, it's harder to farm resources in the open world. So unless they add some kind of heavy layering for the entirety of Wrath of the Lich King on the big servers, yeah, it's going to be quite difficult for people to farm gold. And this will change player behaviour and server economies quite drastically. They also have a little note at the end of this blue post saying that if you're spamming for boosts out of the trade channel, like in looking for group channels, actually against terms of service, and you can get reported for actually doing that. Yeah, everyone is actually doing that at the minute, so that is quite interesting. Maybe this will eventually start applying to GDKPs as well. Thirdly, we've also had a little bit of a sneak peek into the new group finder tool for Wrath of the Lich King Classic. To explain this in a sentence, it's exactly like it is in retail, however you can now list yourself. If you don't know how it works in retail, it's very simple. You can make a group like this, and then people can apply to join your group, and you can see how many people are in that group, what roles are in that group, and obviously what roles are needed. They haven't shown us how it would look in a raiding environment, but it does say here, as you can see, that raids will be included, and also PvP. It's going to be so much easier to find raid pugs and heroic dungeons, and also arena teams. But obviously what is going to happen with this group finder tool is people are going to use the group finder tool to do what? Sell boosts and gold and raid boosts and stuff like that. But let's be honest, that is totally unavoidable, and this is definitely a step in the right direction in my opinion. I think this group finder tool should have just been in from Classic WoW day one, to be honest. Also, a sneaky blue post you may have missed is that the server transfer restrictions have all been lifted. So this means you can make both faction characters on PvP realms, you can transfer from a PvE realm to a PvE realm, and now you can have 50 characters on one server. So as you can see here, I have a ridiculous amount of characters. Now we have like a little slider going down. So yeah, as you can see, I've made like, you know, over 10 characters on this server now. And the last thing to mention is that Naxxramas testing on the Season of Mastery server will be available on June 23rd. Now this is probably the reason why the beta didn't drop this reset. So again, it may be the next reset. Only time will tell. But anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video there. Today I was actually going to release a video about class changes, but I'm having to push that one back to Friday, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, my name is MetaGoblin. To the next video, ciao.